KURINJI Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
KURINJI Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Okay students, so in this video, now we are going to discuss information is how do we conserve biodiversity? How do we conserve biodiversity? So now the methods are, or one more side heading also we can keep, that is methods of the conservation of biodiversity. So here we can conserve the biodiversity so by following of methods. So by following of some kind of methods, no, definitely we can conserve the biodiversity. So how we can conserve this biodiversity means there are generally, so here there are two different types of conservative methods are there. Now let us discuss those methods. Now the conservation of biological diversity has become a global concern. So here this is not for a state or that is not for a country. So definitely it is conservation of biodiversity has become a global concern. Definitely it is related to the entire globe, not for the country or not for the state of a country. So next one. Now there are basically two main types of conservation options are there. So basically two main types of conservation approaches are there. So their first one is in situ conservation and the second one is ex situ conservation. Don't forget in situ conservation, ex situ conservation. Now in situ conservation concerned, in situ conservation is seen as the ideal conservation strategy. Don't forget, so there are two different types of conservation options are there. First one is in situ conservation and second one is ex situ conservation. Now in situ conservation is seen as the ideal conservation strategy. So in situ conservation seen as ideal conservation strategy. Don't forget, sometimes they may ask out of in situ conservation and ex situ conservation, so which type of conservation is ideal conservation strategy? Means our answer must be in situ conservation. Now let us start to learn the in situ conservation first. So this in situ conservation we will be calling by one more name, that is on-site conservation. So here in situ conservation, what is the general thing we will do means, so one is simple example let me give you. So in situ conservation, suppose if we would like to, here that example I didn't write, but through my voice you can get. If you say in situ conservation, so we save the entire forest to save the tiger. So did you understand? Means in situ conservation, suppose if we would like to save the tiger, so now what we will do? We will save the entire forest. Means for the saving of a tiger, now we are giving protection to the entire forest. So that is the thing we can be taken as in situ conservation. So that is the best example. But in situ conservation means what is information? No, it is the process of protecting an endangered species or threatened species in its natural habitats. So this is the exact information of in situ conservation or on-site conservation. So means here the process of protecting of endangered species or threatened species in its natural habitats. Means if you are going to protect or if you are going to conserve any kind of endangered species or threatened species, so definitely we can be protected them in their natural habitats. Means if you are protecting any kind of species that are maybe endangered or threatened in its natural habitats, so such kind of thing we can be taken as in situ conservation or on-site conservation. Don't forget important. So simple thing is, suppose if we are protecting or if you are conserving or if you are giving protection to the any kind of species in its natural habitats, means we are not taking so such kind of species into the any other place, just we are keeping them in its natural habitats and we are protecting them. I hope you understood this one. Next one, in situ conservation, so or in situ approach includes, so in situ approach includes the protection of a group of ecosystem through a network of protected areas like, so means here in this in situ conservation definitely, so we can protect the plants or we can protect the animals, protection of a group of ecosystem through a network of protected areas. So like, so where or what are the protected areas generally we will be using, no, national park we are using, so sanctuaries, biosphere resource, sacred groves, likewise somewhat protected network of protected areas, so we can be used for the or in the in situ conservation or on-site conservation. So what are those? National park, sanctuaries, biosphere resource and sacred groves. So all these are all very very important. So national parks, sanctuaries, biosphere resource, sacred groves, which are coming under the examples of in situ conservation or on-site conservation. Don't forget, NEET examination point of view important. So what are the examples comes under in situ conservation? Definitely they will ask. So at the time, no, without any confusions we have to remember. So now in India concerned, so still few more examples are there. So biosphere resource, so in India 17 biosphere reserves are there, 19 national parks are there and 448 wildlife sanctuaries also are there. One more time, in our India, so there are 17 biosphere reserves, 90 national park and 448 wildlife sanctuaries are present. Don't forget this number, very very important, and the examples also important. One more time. So here in national in situ conservation, what is the thing? Protection of a group of ecosystem. We are protecting a group with a network of protected areas like national park, sanctuaries, biosphere resource, sacred groves. So now in our India there are 17 biosphere resources are there, 90 national parks are there and 448 wildlife sanctuaries are there. I am telling you by one more time, number very very important. Now let us start to learn the national park. So now in a national park, so now first point is the first national park established in the world. So first national park is Yellowstone National Park. Don't forget. So in our world, in comparison of our world, no, first national park is Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone National Park. So where is the location or where it is present in? It is present in America. So they have been established in 1872. So this point is important. So try to remember carefully. So now till now what is the information we have learned in this page? So in situ conservation or on-site conservation means, so definitely we will protect the endangered species or threatened species in its natural habitats. Means in its natural habitats, best example, so we will save the tiger. So we will save the tiger. So by saving of entire forest, so we will save the tiger, so by saving of or by conserving of entire forest. So that is a thing we can be taken. So next one, what is the point here we will be taking? No, national park. So here there are different types of examples. So we will be using national park, sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, sacred groves. Likewise there are different types of things we will be taking. So there in our India concerned, biosphere reserves 17 over there, national parks 90 over there. Next one, wildlife sanctuaries wildlife sanctuaries, 448 are there. Now national park concern, national parks established in the world, first one is Yellowstone National Park in USA. They have established in 1872. Next one, the largest national park in the world. First national park is Yellowstone National Park. Next one, the largest national park in the world is Northeast Greenland. One more time, largest national park in the world is the Northeast Greenland National Park. Northeast Greenland National Park. So that is the largest one. Next one, the important national parks include, so they have given somewhat important national parks also. Names are Jim Corbett National Park, don't forget. So these are 5 national parks now I have given. So 5 all these national parks are important to try to say. Jim Corbett National Park, Uttaranchal. Next one, Kaziranga National Park, Assam, and Kilodogana National Park, Rajasthan, and Mahavir Harina Vanasthali National Park at AP. Next one, Bandipur National Park, Karnataka. Okay, now here few important national parks are there. First one is Jim Corbett National Park, present in Uttaranchal. Kaziranga National Park, present in Assam. Keoladogana National Park, present in Rajasthan, and Mahavir Harina Vanasthali National Park, present in Andhra Pradesh, and Bandipur National Park, present in Karnataka. So these examples, so definitely important for NEET examinations, but public examination point of view not required. So those who are preparing for public NEET examinations, so try to concentrate on these 5 examples. Next one, sanctuaries. So sanctuaries, what is importance means, so specific endangered faunal species. One more time, specific endangered faunal species are well protected in wildlife sanctuaries. So mainly they will be concentrating on the endangered faunal species, or fauna species, endangered faunal species well protected in the wildlife sanctuary. So that kind of thing. So what are the best examples means, Papikondalu in Andhra Pradesh, and Yeturu Nagaram and Koringa. So there are 3 different types of sanctuaries are there in Andhra Pradesh. Next one is Rangantittu Bird Sanctuary. So Rangantittu Bird Sanctuary in Karnataka, and one more is Sariksha Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan. Sariksha Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan. Next one is Rangantittu Bird Sanctuary in Karnataka, Papikondalu, Yeturu Nagaram, and Koringa in Andhra Pradesh. So these are all well-known sanctuaries. So in this particular sanctuaries, generally what they will do is, so they will protect specific endangered faunal species. They will be protected in the wildlife sanctuaries. So that is information. So we can be taken. Next one, third one concerned. So Biosphere Resource. So Biosphere Resource. The concept of a Biosphere Resource was launched in 1975 as a part of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere programs. So first of all, Biosphere Resource, the concept of Biosphere was launched in 1975 as a part of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere programs. Okay, ma. So till now, so what is information we have learned now? This entire information is not there in NCERT. So this one I have collected from the other books, but still some more information is there which is not given in our NCERT. That information is Biosphere Resource is an area which is a site for conservation of the resources of the biosphere and for the improvement of relationship between the man and environment. Means here what is the point here we can be taken. So in this biosphere resource, so what is the thing we will be doing now is an area in which a site so for the conservation of the resources of the biosphere and and for the improvement of relationship between the man and environment. So definitely in biosphere resource we can protect the we can conserve the resources of the biosphere, and one more is we can improve the relationship between the man and environment. So likewise, so we in this biosphere resource, so what we can do is so definitely we can maintain the relationship between man as well as environment. So now, so initially, so from here onwards textbook information try to concentrate. Now initially 25 biodiversity hotspots are present. Initially how many number of hotspots are there? So 25 biodiversity hotspots are there, were identified, but subsequently 9 more have been added. Emma, don't forget, initially how many are there? 25 biodiversity hotspots are there. Initially they have been identified, but subsequently they have increased their number. Now 9 they have been identified newly or added newly to the list. So means, so initially 25 are there, 9 they have added newly. So thereby total number of biodiversity hotspots in the world is 34. Don't forget. So NEET examination point of view, this point also they will ask. Initially how many number of biodiversity hotspots are there, means number must be 25, and 9 newly they added to the total number of biodiversity. So thereby now the total number of biodiversity is 34. 25 plus 9, totally 34. So now there in a total number of 34, so 3 hotspots, or 3 of them, or 3 hotspots. What are those? Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. Try to listen this information carefully. Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma, and one more is Himalayan region. One more time, Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma and Himalayan region. So these 3 hotspots, 3 hotspots are there now. These 3 hotspots cover our country exceptionally. So here definitely 3 hotspots cover our India. So this is a neat important point. Okay, so now here there, what is information? Exceptionally they will be having high biodiversity region. So definitely, so around of our India, so total number of hotspots, how many are there? 3 are there, exceptionally consisting of high biodiversity region. So means even though 3 are there, definitely consisting of more amount of or a high biodiversity regions. So don't forget, it is important point. Now here next one, all biodiversity hotspots put together, means here in 34 are there, means early 25, newly 9, totally 34, totally in 34. Now what is information? So all biodiversity hotspots put together covers less than 2% of the earth land, means 34 hotspots are there. In a total 34 hotspots, together just covers the 2% of the earth land or earth area. So now collectively reduce, so means here totally 34 hotspots collectively reduce the mass extinctions by almost 30%. Means here biodiversity hotspots land concerned just less than 2%. Less than 2% of land only covers this in the entire earth area, but reducing the mass extinctions by 30%. So this point is important, try to say. So biodiversity hotspots, land area concerned just occupying 2% of land in earth area, but collectively reducing the mass extinctions almost by 30%. So this point is important to try to say. Next one, in India, so this information NEET examination point of view important. In India, Biosphere Resource 14 and national parks 90. Next one, wildlife sanctuaries 448. One more time, in India Biosphere Resource 14 are there, national parks 90 are there. Next one, wildlife sanctuaries 448 are there. So still, so we need to learn information regarding sacred groves. Okay, ma. Now next one is sacred groves. Now in sacred groves, what is information? Now we have to learn now. So that information is, now you see there, sacred groves are found in, so it is found in Kansi Hills, Meghalaya, Aravalli Hills in Rajasthan, Western Ghats region, so present in Karnataka as well as Maharashtra. Next one, Sajuja, Janda and Bastar areas, so which are present in Madhya Pradesh. So here I have given 4 examples of sacred groves. So what is the use of these sacred groves means? So here, so we will be giving off total protection or complete protection. So how we can give complete protection means, here once you see there, in many culture, tracts of a forest were set aside and the trees and wildlife within were venerated and given complete protection. Means here, so what is this information means? Now you go up once. India has a history of religious and cultural traditions that emphasize the protection of nature. Now once you see there, so our India definitely, so religious based as well as we will be having cultural traditions. So these cultural traditions as well as religious basis definitely emphasized this particular protection. So altogether definitely giving off particular protection or emphasized protection to the nature. So thereby in this particular case what we are doing, just we are protecting the trees as well as wildlife within the particular area, but here we are giving complete protection. So such kind of areas simply we will be taking as sacred groves. We will be taking as sacred groves. Examples are Kansi and Janesha hills present in Meghalaya, Aravalli hills present in Rajasthan, next one Western Ghats present in Karnataka as well as Maharashtra. Next one Sarguja and Chanda and Bastar areas present in Madhya Pradesh. Next one in Meghalaya. So in Meghalaya sacred groves, what is information? No, sacred groves are the last refuges for larger number of rare and threatened plants. So this point is important. Meghalaya sacred groves information concerned. Meghalaya sacred groves are the last refuges for larger number of rare and threatened plants. So this point is important, don't forget. So definitely in this Meghalaya sacred groves now, so what is the thing we are observing means, so we are observing the protection of a large number of and rare threatened plants. So that point here we are getting only under the Meghalaya sacred groves. So till now, so we have learned somewhat information regarding which one? In situ conservation. So this sacred groves also we can be taken under in situ conservation. Now let us start to talk about the ex situ conservation. So in situ conservation, so for the protection of one particular tiger, what we have done, we have protected the entire forest. But here in this particular case in ex situ conservation, generally what we will do means, in this approach the threatened animals or the plants, whatever may be there, taken out of from the natural habitat. So means in situ conservation, so we have just protected the plants and as well as animals in its natural habitats. But in this particular case, so what we are doing, just we are protecting the protecting or the threatening of animals as well as plants, that we are not protecting in its natural habitats. We are taking out from their natural habitats and we are placing in we are creating some kind of a special setting for them, so where they can be protected as well as given special care. Means in situ conservation, just we are taking or we are protecting or we are conserving the animals in its natural habitats. But in ex situ conservation, what we are doing, no, just we are giving protection to the plants as well as animals in one artificial area. So artificial conditions, so means here these kind of plants as well as animals we are taking them outside of the natural habitats, and we are giving artificial or we are giving protection in artificial conditions. So such kind of thing we will be taking as ex situ conservation. So can you give any examples, sir? Means here few examples. By discussing of those examples we can discuss. So what are those examples? No, zoological park or simply zoological parks and botanical gardens and wildlife sanctuaries. So these three best examples we can be taken under ex situ conservation. So one more time, zoological park, botanical gardens, next one wildlife sanctuary or wildlife safari park. Wildlife safari park or these three are best examples of in situ conservation. So now here what are the main important points? No, many animals have become extinct in the wild. So but continue to be maintained in zoological park. Means here what is the point? Suppose if any kind of animals are going to be extincted, so such kind of animals can be protected by maintaining of zoological park. Means in that particular zoological park, no, suppose if any kind of animals are going to be extincted, so we can give protection in zoological park. So next concept is gametes of threatened species. Gametes of threatened species are there, no? So these kind of gametes means that is maybe male or female gametes. So suppose a threatened species of gametes are there, means definitely these kind of gametes also can be preserved and we can maintain viability nature as well as fertile nature without any disturbances by using of cryopreservation technique or cryopreservation method. So in this cryopreservation method, already in a second topic I have given information regarding. So cryopreservation means the just storing of plant related or animal related materials in minus 196 degrees centigrade in liquid nitrogen. Means by maintaining of minus 196 degrees centigrade by using of liquid nitrogen. Suppose if you are protecting any kind of gametes, means any kind of gametes, so such kind of technology or such kind of method we can be taken as cryopreservation. So this one NEET examination point of view important. Next one more method also is there. Means so in this particular method, no, animals cannot be propagated, but plants can be propagated. So plants can be propagated by using of tissue culture methods. So tissue culture methods, by using of tissue culture methods, so plant can be propagated within a short period of time, no? So by using of micro propagation, so within a short period of time by using of tissue culture methods, so plant can be protected. Likewise related to the plants we can talk about related to the tissue culture. Means here the gametes concerned, so gametes or any kind of plants or animal related things, no, we can be stored in cryopreservation. Next one, animals concerned. So here one important point we have seen there. So many animals that have been going to be extincted, we can be protected in or we can be maintained in zoological park. Next one, come down one. So now you see there. So seeds of different genetic traits. So seeds of different genetic traits also we can be stored for long time. So means sir, seeds where we can be stored, sir, for a long time means so seed banks. So suppose so in that particular seed banks, no, so there are different types of seeds with genetic traits or different genetic traits, they will be stored for long time without any disturbances. Once let me move back. So that information is for storage of seeds we are using seed banks. For propagating of plants, we are using the technique known as tissue culture, and for the storage of gametes, we are using the cryopreservation technique. And suppose if any kind of animals, threatened animals or any kind of animals going to be extincted, so we will be maintaining in zoological park. Next one, best example of ex situ conservation. So zoological park, botanical gardens and wildlife safari park. Wildlife safari park, so the third example. Next one, so historic convention. So historic convention of biological diversity means a simple thing is that one simply we will be calling as Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro. So in the year of 1992. So means for the first time biological diversity or the historic convention on biological diversity. So simply we will be calling as Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. Next one, Earth Summit. Earth Summit on Sustainable Development. Earth Summit on Sustainable Development held in 2002. Don't forget, this point also is important. World Summit on Sustainable Development held in 2002 in Johannesburg, South Africa. So in this particular case, sir, what they have done, sir, means, so here in a World Summit on that particular thing, no, 190 countries, so 190 countries pledged their commitment to achieve by 2010. So means in 2002 altogether they have sit together and they have pledged approximately 190 countries people they have been pledged for their commitment. So commitment achieving concern they have given one deadline also, that is 2010. So a significant reduction in the current rate of biodiversity loss at a global, regional and local level. So in this particular case now, what they have find out now, so in our countries or in our local regions or in a global concern, so many number of the biodiversity losses going to be extincted or going to be like continued, but hereafter these kind of losses should not be continued furtherly. So definitely we have to protect so such kind of biodiversity enrichment. So likewise what they have done now, so they have pledged themselves so for the protection or for the giving of a conservation of, so which one, global as well as regional and as well as local levels of biodiversity. So likewise they have given some more information related to the biodiversity and conservation. So now let me revise this Situ conservation by one more time. So before discussion about the Situ conservation, so let me give a few points regarding in situ conservation. So in situ conservation is nothing but protection of any kind of threatened or extincted species so in its natural habitats, whereas ex situ conservation just giving of protection of plants and animals not in its natural habitat, but we will be protecting in unfavorable means in artificial conditions. Means we will be creating some kind of artificial conditions for giving of a protection of animals as well as plants. So for example, what are the examples now we are discussing means, so first one is wildlife safari park, let us take. Why? Because in situ conservation we have taken wildlife sanctuaries we have taken. So now here wildlife safari park, so this one definitely confuse you, so don't get confused here. Next one, botanical gardens, zoological park we are taking. Next one, zoological park, no, definitely, so what are the extincted animals are there, no, definitely we can be protected. Next one, in cryopreservation technique, gametes can be preserved of both plants and animals. Next one, in tissue culture, so plants can be propagated. Next one, in seed banks, seeds can be protected or seed can be preserved, so of different genetic traits. Next one, last but 2 points are historic convention, that is Earth Summit held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. Likewise, Earth Summit on Sustainable Development held in 2002. So that present held in Johannesburg in South Africa. So in this particular summit now what they have decided, approximately 190 countries they have been sit together and they have pledged. So here we have few commitments, so definitely all these commitments must be reached at least by 2010. Likewise, so they have been pledged for the protection of biodiversity, so present at global and regional and local levels. So definitely, so what they have pledged, whether they have been succeeded or not, we don't know, but they have been pledged. But at least by 2010, definitely we will reach to protect the, so all levels of biodiversity at a local level, at a regional level, as well as at a global level to prevent the losses of biodiversity. So this is somewhat information regarding biodiversity and conservation, very important topic for public examination point of view as well as NEET examination point of view. Suppose if you could not understand these particular videos, try to see by one more time. So try to see 1 or 2 times, so thereby you will understand very clearly. Thank you.